We're doing it over again. There we go. All right. Everybody.
$0.5 trillion budget. And in 2022, I'm going to blow away the Democrat socialist agenda.
Damn straight. And there's a Prius. Prius are for gay liberals.
Damn.
Damn, dude. It exploded. 100K a year.
Yeah.
Minimum.
Good, I guess.
Yeah.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I'm an American
Ocasio-Cortez. Alexander occasionally Cortez. Come out of here. Come on, Alexander. Occasionally Cortez.
You've got to come out occasionally.
Got him. Got him. All right. Well.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I'm an American citizen. I pay your salary through the taxes that you collect from me through the IRS. I'm a woman. I'm a female business owner, and I'm proud to be an American woman. And I do not support your socialist policies. If you want to be a big girl, you need to get rid of your diaper and come out and be able to talk to the American citizens instead of us having to use a flap, a little flap.
I love that. That's my favorite.
Flap, a little flap.
She doesn't know what a fucking mail slot is. It's a talking flap.
Yeah.
There's really not that much to say about like the commercials. Of course, all these Republicans, they do like these super extreme commercials for their congressional races or local elections where they have deportation buses. And like fucking even Joe Manchin does this shit. Like
there's more of these?
Oh, there's so
many.
We
need like a compilation of them.
Yeah. Let's make one. That'd be sick. Let's hold on. I gotta pull this up too.
Joe Manchin shoots.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Here you go. This is the video right here.
I'm Joe Manchin. I approve this ad because I'll always defend West Virginia.
He's a Democrat.
As your senator, I'll protect our Second Amendment rights.
He's a demon.
That's why the NRA endorsed me. I'll take on Washington and this administration to get the federal government off of our backs and out of our pockets. I'll cut federal spending
than the other.
And I'll repeal the bad parts of
commercials.
Obamacare. I sued EPA, and I'll take dead aim at the cap and trade bill.
Got him.
Because it's bad for West Virginia.
Yeah, I mean, oh fuck, I didn't mean to click on this video. I don't know what that is. This is virtue signaling at its finest. So, but he's a democrat, so of course he would virtue signal, right? But yeah, I mean that's all it is. That's my takeaway. That's like the only commentary. They're virtue signaling, and it's goofy. You know, identity politics.
I'm gonna shoot my problems away.
Yeah. Well, because Republicans like guns, so they're like, "Hey, we got guns. Look at all these guns we have. We make things explode with guns. Look, everybody. It's goofy, but
that's so goofy."
The thing I wanted to talk about really bad. Here, I had to pull this video off Facebook. I couldn't find it anywhere else.
Wait, this is everywhere. This is the only place you can find it?
Yeah, I looked it up on Google. I couldn't.
Huh.
Not
even on Reddit?
I don't know.
Tucker Carlson vaccine meltdown? I don't know.
Oh, okay. We're watching it on Facebook.
All right.
It's extremely bad quality. How many views does this have on Facebook?
Probably too fucking many.
Yeah, I can't even see the amount of views it has. Well, yeah, let's watch this shit. Whatever. I don't care about the quality. All right, it's good enough. It's YouTube.
Fine.
No one cares.
It's all about the meltdown, anyways. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
But no, that would get the Democratic Party nothing. The point of mandatory vaccination is to identify the sincere Christians in the ranks, the free thinkers, the men with high testosterone levels, and anyone else who does not love Joe Biden and make them leave immediately. It's a takeover of the U.S. military. Here's how they're doing it. This show has just obtained a power...
I should give context. His rant is about vaccination mandates in the military. If there are I think the U.S. government estimated like that 1/3 of all personnel in the military are refusing to take the vaccine. Hoorah! Yeah, that was stupid. But anywho, 1/3 of people in the military are apparently refusing to take the vaccine, and that's
actually surprisingly low. I thought it'd be higher.
That's higher than I thought it would be, actually. It's really goofy though. But anywho, Tucker Carlson's mad about this. Yeah, you mean what?
I would assume to begin with that they just make everyone get the vaccine, but if not, then that seems pretty low to me.
Yeah, I mean, they are making everybody get the vaccine, but it's funny because I want to play this again. Tucker Carlson is talking about how the vaccine's purpose is to weed out, and somewhere in this video, he says, well, okay, so two things. The vaccine's purpose is to weed out the free thinkers and the people with high testosterone. If you don't get a vaccine, you're either a free thinker or you have a fucking massive penis. And you're just like a fucking muscle-bound freak.
Oh my god.
You're a man. You're a super manly man. Yeah, you're the man of men.
You've got a whiskey in your hand at all times and smoking cigars, shooting guns all at the same time.
Yeah, you do whiskey enemas. It burns, but you don't give a fuck. And
because
you're a man. And as well as saying that, and obviously that's goofy, right? Like if you're not a card-carrying vaccine recipient, then you're not a free thinker or high testosterone. It's really weird. The other thing is, he also talks about how somewhere in this video, he says that the U.S. government has said, or the U.S. military has said, the vaccines have only killed 3 people in America. That is referring to the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Where do I have that article? Here it is.
What was the issue?
Blood clots.
Blood clots, I see.
So the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, by the way, has been unpaused. You can now get it again.
It was unpaused like a week later. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. CDC says 28 blood clot cases, 3 deaths may be linked to J&J COVID vaccine, right? And so this is what they're referring to. But Tucker Carlson, he says that that the government has said that the COVID vaccines have caused thousands of deaths, and I'm gonna get into that in a second. But let's watch this video.
And anyone else who does not love Joe Biden and make them leave
rewind it a little bit.
Identify the sincere Christian crisis that the Pentagon might want to address. Lloyd Austin might want to look into that. But no, that would get the Democratic Party nothing. The point of mandatory vaccination is to identify the sincere Christians in the ranks, the free thinkers, the men with high testosterone levels, and anyone else who does not love Joe Biden and make them leave immediately. It's a takeover of the U.S. military. Here's how they're doing it. This show has just obtained a PowerPoint that the Army is using to justify mandatory vaccines to the troops. This is an actual slide from it on your screen. You will notice there the sympathetic portrayal of Satanism. How many children were sacrificed to Satan because of the vaccine? The slide reads apparently sarcastic.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Then the presentation proceeds to list
this is real
tenets of Satan.
I honestly don't even know. I did not fact check this part because I really don't care about this part. They do religious studies in the military, though. Of course, there's people have school in the military. They do schooling. And so I'm assuming that they would study Satanism, and I really don't find this an issue. It's just like, obviously they're not like taking Satanism seriously. So, and who knows? I don't even know the context of this. Once again, I didn't fact check this. This whole thing could be a fucking joke, you know? I don't know. But but this is not even the important part, right? The important part is what he's about to say next.
Then the presentation proceeds to list the so-called tenets of Satanism, which are taken straight from the Temple of Satanism website. So here you have the United States Army doing PR for Satanism. The rest of the presentation is less shocking than that, but it's utterly shoddy and dishonest.
So you have deaths due to COVID vaccine, 3 from the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Out of 8 million people receiving the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, 15 developed blood clots. The rate of clotting with severe COVID is 29%. And that's
Wait, what?
Yeah, they're saying, like, you know, if you have COVID, if you have severe COVID symptoms, 29% of people.
I understand, but the numbers that they're showing is like proof.
Yeah, it's
as
true.
To why you should get the J&J
right. That's what Tucker Carlson is saying. He's criticizing that. He's saying that they're wrong. Right.
I'm just gonna.
Well, so let's continue this really quick.
For example, it falsely claims that only 3 people have died from taking the COVID vaccine. Reports collected by the Biden administration itself indicate that number is actually in the thousands.
Reports collected by the Biden administration itself says that the number is within the thousands. This is the statement that I wanted to talk about. This is the most important statement. What is he referring to when he says the Biden administration itself? Well, let's look at this article right here before we get even deeper. We have Citizen Free Press. Tucker Carlson, this is from July. Tucker Carlson shatters media silence. Of course, they're always shattering. They're always shattering or destroying the media or whatever. Media silence. Why are thousands of people dying from the COVID vaccine? So let's take a look at this real quick.
Welcome to Tucker Carlson tonight. Here's a very simple question. How many Americans have died after taking the COVID vaccine?
Maximize this.
It's not Americans who've been killed by the virus. That's a huge number.
All right. Why is their media player so bad I can't maximize this video? Whatever, it doesn't matter.
20.
How many Americans have died after getting the vaccines to prevent the virus?
Oh,
Do you know the answer to that question? Do you know anything about the downside?
Nope.
We know a lot about the upside of vaccines. We've been completely in favor of vulnerable people taking vaccines. But what about the potential risks? You'd think you would know more about that than you do. We talk a lot about vaccines constantly, not just on this show, but in this country. Joe Biden was on TV yesterday talking about vaccines. He wants you to get one. Everyone in authority wants you to get one. In fact, you probably already had your shot, and good for you.
And so, how many people have died from the vaccines? He's setting up the question. You know, Tucker Carlson's a question guy. He just asks questions. You know, yada yada yada. He doesn't say, "Oh well, people definitely died. People may have died." He says that people may have died. It's not that people definitely have died, right? And he keeps it kind of vague. But here's where he's getting his information. This is the important part right here.
It did come from the Vaccine Adverse Events Reporting System, VAERS.
VAERS.
VAERS is managed by the CDC and the FDA.
It's managed by the CDC and the FDA. Okay? So there's the framing. It's managed by the CDC and the FDA. So therefore, it's a reputable, reliable source. It's them saying that, right?
Right.
Let me ask you this. Do you know what VAERS is?
I do know what VAERS is, and it's not for any of us. It's for specifically people that study epidemiology.
Did you know that we can use it?
It's not for us. We can use it, but it's not for us. Straight up, it's not for us. I don't know if I sent you that, but...
No. I'm not going to publish anything onto it. And I advise no one publishes anything onto it.
Actually, I advise everyone to go on there and say you got swollen balls.
Well, here you go. I can put I can put whatever I want onto it, right? And so I've already started my form. First name Joe, patient, last name Youngs, right? These are the patients. And we have here's my date of birth, what yada yada yada. I'm saying I got my vaccine on September 1st. And here is the date that I've died. Okay? My age is 26. Whether or not I was pregnant, that is unknown. Prescriptions, over-the-counter medications, I was taking ivermectin and crystal theta healing therapy. I don't even know if you guys can read that. I think you can. Allergies to medications, food, or other products, the Clinton News Network.
Just highlight it. Just highlight it. Just highlight it.
Just highlight it? All right, there you go.
Yeah, just highlight it. So it's a lot easier, when you're reading it.
True. Oh, sorry. I got to restart my form. I forgot my form. My form expired. I gotta respond to someone chat. Are you two really as stupid as you let on? The inserts from the manufacturer's list at myriad of fatal afflictions caused by the vaccines. I don't even know what you're saying to me. So maybe
where's this chat coming from?
It's YouTube.
Huh? I don't see that. What the fuck?
Oh, I see it. The person that typed to me might not speak English very well, to be honest.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, they're the one dislike. I see. Good job, buddy.
Yeah, good job. I just don't. I'm kind of confused on what they're trying to get at.
Psychobabble, huh? As
all right.
per usual.
Here, let's try this again. Reporting an adverse event. Okay. Reporting an online event. You know what? Let me do this first because I don't want it to show my information. All right, so we're going to go on to the next page.
Big docs.
Continue to the next page. Okay. So the form is going to be completed by Mike Hawk. Okay. The relation to the patient is homie. Okay. This is the person doing the form. Okay. We're gonna go to the next page. No, I want to go to the next page. All right. This is the important part. Okay. No, sorry. The next page is the important part. This is the important part. I can declare why Joe Youngs has died. All right. So he took the vaccine. He took the where's the Pfizer vaccine? Whatever. I'm just gonna click a random vaccine. Oh, here it is. Here's Pfizer. All right. I took the Pfizer vaccine. Here, describe the adverse events. Joe took the vaccine.
Elephantitis of the balls, of the testes.
And he farted, cummed, and shitted himself to death.
And vomited.
Oh, sorry. Shitted and vomited. The guy spelled really wrong. Himself to death. All right. And I'll add he was my.
You're gonna get IP ban from VAERS.
Oni-chan. Whatever. I don't give a fuck. I'm not posting this. I'm not publishing this. And once again, I'm telling anybody who is going to go onto the VAERS website, do not do anything like this, obviously. By the way, VAERS was made in 1990, okay? And until now, people haven't really been using it improperly.
I was about to say largely unused, probably.
Well, it was used by a lot of medical providers. It's been used a lot, especially during the Trump administration. Or during the Trump, like the last 4 years. So, but anywho, and then I can say the patient has died, and he died on September 2nd, the day after taking the vaccine. All right. And I can publish this shit. Anybody can publish something like this. And so, when Tucker Carlson references VAERS, I'm really surprised that you knew about this, by the way. A lot of people don't know what VAERS is.
Come on. Who do you think I am, huh?
Yeah. But
who you kidding me, huh?
When Tucker Carlson references VAERS, that is where he's getting his information from. He's getting his information from dudes that are saying from Mike Hawk, who's saying Joe farted, shitted, cummed, and vomited himself to death. Or it could just be some random Joe Schmo who just put in, like, I don't know. You can make up anything, right? And then here's the other thing. Even if you're not making it up, you can say that your friend died or a family member died or whatever. It might not even be related to the vaccine. And you're like, well, he got the vaccine a month ago, and now he's dead. Coincidence? I think not. And it turns out he had fucking like bronchitis or some shit, unrelated to the vaccine, or had a peanut allergy or something. Who knows, right? Who knows? It could be completely unrelated. It's not. The point is, this is not reliable, valid information. It's not a reliable way to collect data. So when Tucker Carlson says thousands of people have died, and I'm going to reference VAERS, it's ridiculous. But he's not the only one that's doing it. I mean, look, there's so many articles about this shit. I scoured the internet trying to find as many as I could. Why are thousands of vaccine deaths being ignored? Okay? And you have here, as of April 23rd, 2021, VAERS has also received 12,618 reports of serious adverse events. This is where they're getting their fucking data from.
I mean, I'm willing to accept that maybe there are some vaccine deaths, but
of course,
have they researched every single one of those and found them to be credible or not?
Yeah, I mean, of course, because Johnson & Johnson, we had 3 people die from the Johnson & Johnson vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
But but this is not like a reasonable and rational way to collect data, especially when you're the largest cable news show host in America. It's fucking insane. And then also, I mean, we can go back to that, where is it? The Citizen Free Press, right? And I mean, this is shit that people are, I don't know who uses these news websites, but I mean, actually, I know actually some people that read the Citizen Free Press. But how many times do these boys reference VAERS? A lot. 16 times. Right? According to VAERS, VAERS records nearly 900 non-fatal heart attacks, reports in the VAERS database, banned from Facebook. Why? Because it reported government numbers from VAERS database. A lot of shit. And I've read through this whole thing, right? Obviously, that's why I saved this article, is because this is like an egregious case of people misusing the VAERS database. Now, what is the VAERS database for? It is not to collect information that can be used in the way that it's being used right now. What it's for is a doctor or a medical professional can say, hey, this patient I've had is having some weird illness or adverse reaction to something. He just took the vaccine. I distributed the vaccine to him, or someone did, just recently. It could be the vaccine, just giving you a heads up. And it's letting the CDC and the FDA kind of recognize trends. And so,
and to view the data that's coming in, and to potentially get ahead of actual adverse reactions.
Exactly. But normally, the reports have literally nothing to do with the vaccines. They just don't. But I don't know. Like InfoWars has referred to VAERS. Like Alex Jones has referred to VAERS. Fox News, obviously. Tucker Carlson has referenced VAERS on multiple occasions, and it's usually like really tiny publications, like viral Facebook posts. But I just want people to be aware of what VAERS is, because they might see something posted in the future that is referencing VAERS. I don't want people to think that it's like some government entity. So also, I wanted to pull up the About VAERS page. Where is it? Where do they have? Disclaimer: VAERS accepts reports of adverse events and reactions that occur following vaccination. Vaccine manufacturers, where is it? Reports. All right, so VAERS reports alone cannot be used to determine if a vaccine has caused or contributed to adverse event or illness. The reports may contain information that is incomplete, inaccurate, coincidental, or unverifiable. In large part, reports to VAERS. I should highlight this. Reports to VAERS are voluntary, which means that they are subject to bias. This creates specific limitations on how the data can be used scientifically. Data from VAERS reports should always be interpreted with these limitations in mind. And then key considerations and limitations of VAERS. Vaccine providers are encouraged to report any clinically significant. I can't read. I'm having a Ben Shapiro moment. Health problem following vaccination to VAERS, whether or not they believe the vaccine was the cause. Reports may include incomplete, inaccurate, and we've already read this stuff. The point is anybody can put anything on there. I mean, you guys saw me fill out that report, and that's good that you can put anything that you want on there. It's a double-edged sword, like if they let anyone post and then they see like there's a really serious trend happening, they might be able to get ahead of something. And vaccines have caused issues in the past, right? But this is just not one of those cases. Like, I don't know, man. Conservatives are trying so fucking hard to pin anything on this fucking vaccine. They are coping so hard with the context that the vaccine happens to be working out this well. But anywho, all right, let's get into something a little more. You have anything else to add, by the way, to the VAERS thing?
No.
All right. Well,
no, not at all.
Let us go to something a little more silly before I get into another more serious topic. This is. Let me pull this up. This is Business Insider. MyPillow CEO Mike Lindell is trying to get ads back on Fox News, but the network keeps turning him down, report says. After angrily pulling all his commercials from Fox, I keep highlighting. After angrily pulling all his commercials from Fox News this summer, following a spat with the network, MyPillow CEO Mike Lindell seems to have changed his tune, and so he pulled his ads from Fox News, and they won't let him buy ad space back on Fox News because he's toxic waste, dude. He's bad. He's bad for their branding.
I'm a businessman doing business, making great business moves, like pulling all of my ads from like the one place where I could actually sell my fucking shit.
It's so goofy.
I'm a businessman doing business.
So we have it's so funny.
You know it's a Trump quote, right? By the way.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
This is so just because Fox News, by the way, is not hosting MyPillow ads, doesn't mean that Sean Hannity doesn't host MyPillow ads. Sean Hannity has a radio show, as you guys know, or maybe you guys don't know. Who knows? And this is August 17th. And this is after, I believe this is after Sean Hannity, or not Sean Hannity, Mike Lindell pulls his ads off of Fox News. And at this time, we're evacuating people from Kabul. I don't know if you guys have seen or heard this already, but on his radio show, Sean Hannity is distraught at the idea that people may be stranded in Kabul. right? And listen to his coverage of it, and of course, the really well placed My Pillow ad.
And rescue every American citizen, and then the Afghans that risk their lives based on America's promise of safety. I agree completely. How could this ever happen? We got the greatest military fighting.
I just want to say, how could this ever happen? We spent $2 trillion, $300 million a day for the last 20 years trying to prop up an extremely corrupt and fractured government out of the shadow of the Mujahideen that we've been funding for the last 40 years, 50 years. And their half of their military on paper didn't even exist. They were just like generals in the Afghan government, and government officials in the Afghan government were making up making up fake people to add to their list of personnel to get more funding from the U.S. government. So like every other soldier was fake. So we thought they had 300,000 soldiers. Joe Biden thought they had 300,000 soldiers. They actually had something along the lines of 180,000, as well as following an American military style model where they relied on not the training per se of ground troops, but they relied heavily on air support and things of the sort, right? And special forces. Beyond that, because they were so corrupt, they were so unstable that people in Afghanistan, especially in South Afghanistan, didn't even want the Afghan government to rule over them. They thought the American government was brutal. We've killed so many innocent civilians. They thought the Afghan government was brutal. They have killed so many innocent civilians. And you go out and interview, you go out and collect anecdotal stories. That's paradoxical, or not paradoxical. Whatever. You go out and collect the anecdotes from individuals in Afghanistan, and time again you interview them, and they're like, yeah, I've witnessed my brother get killed, right? I saw my sister get killed, or I was in the home and Americans came in, or Afghan military came in and kidnapped my family member, or I watched this kid die, or whatever. It's like story after fucking story. And a plane flies by, or thunder strikes, or not thunder strikes, but thunder sounds, and like kids are diving to the ground or diving into trenches because their greatest fear and trauma, children, by the way, 5-year-olds, their greatest trauma is witnessing an individual that they know, someone in their community, die from an unmanned plane, they call them. And this is how this happens, Sean Hannity, is because you spent $300 million a day for 20 years to create more instability and sustain, put the country in stasis from being infected with the inevitable. The Taliban was going to take over anyways, by the way. For anybody that thinks that the Taliban wasn't going to take over, they already owned 50% of the country. They already occupied 50% of the country when we were there. After the Trump negotiations started, They took over 50% of the country. So they were going to take over anyways. I mean, all we did is put that country in stasis. So, I'm sorry, I'm ranting like hardcore, but it's how we fix the Afghan situation, by the way, is not by putting military personnel in there and spending money on fighter jets and putting more guns in Afghanistan. You fix the issue by investing in infrastructure. If you want to spend $300 million a day, why would that go to some sort of military adventure when you could do something along the lines of the Belt and Road Initiative? Right?
Humanitarian efforts, not wars.
Yeah, I mean, the Belt and Road Initiative obviously is a debt trap, and America would never... And America, before they would just no strings attached, invest in infrastructure, they would 100% perform something along the lines of the Belt and Road Initiative. I mean, we already do. We do it through the IMF, the World Bank. But that would have been so much better for the stability and prosperity of Afghanistan. The reason why people in Afghanistan support the Taliban, it's not because they like the Taliban, it's because they hate America and the Mujahideen and the Afghan government that existed. That's why. It's not there. It's like a lesser of two evils thing for them. They're like, yeah, we don't like the Taliban. This really sucks, but hey, it's better than these guys.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend type shit.
Yeah, exactly. And we spent $300 million a day for 20 years. For that. So, long-winded rant to talk about Sean Hannity's "how could this ever happen?" question. But anyways, let's.
Oh no! What a disaster!
Where did it go wrong? All right, let's. I'm not gonna go into another rant. I was about to go into another rant of where it went wrong, starting with the white papers.
It went wrong with fucking Great Britain drawing fake lines.
You know what?
Borders.
Yeah, actually. Okay, let's get back into this.
Force on Earth, but we have the most incompetent person as president. I don't think he even knows what day it is. He gives his 10-minute speech. Right back on vacation.
Fucking dementia point.
How would you like to be?
To be fair, third most incompetent, behind George W. Bush and Donald Trump. Whoever the first most incompetent is a little bit debatable. No, it's not debatable. Donald Trump's worse than Bush, as far as incompetency is concerned, I guess.
In Kabul today, as an American, and you can't get to the airport. Where are you thinking your life is headed? You're one of those family members. I bet you're not sleeping. I don't even think My Pillow can do it. MyPillow.com. That's where I go.
Oh my God!
Stay asleep longer.
Are you fucking kidding me?
There's going to be a lot of sleepless nights for so many of our fellow Americans. We got to get them home.
Oh my God, dude! Come on with that.
Yeah. So
are you fucking kidding me?
That's a real.
We're having a real uncomfortable situation, but you know what's not uncomfortable is when I lay down on my pillow. What?
Yeah, the point is, Mike Lindell, you'll always have someone to produce your ads.
Oh my God,
and
dude.
Sean Hannity's friends with Mike Lindell.
Yeah, you need to send me that. I'm pulling that immediately.
Oh yeah, I'll send it to you right after we're done here.
And it's gonna be a big meme.
I'll send it to you right now.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah, there you go. There's the article in the.
You got what's the timestamp? Let me see.
It's like 2:45 or something.
Okay,
that's when I started playing it. It's like around
God,
3
what
minutes.
The fuck?
Yeah, it's around 3 minutes when he starts talking about that. Yeah.
That's gonna be a running gag for sure.
Yeah, it should be. He deserves it. God, it's really bad. Oh, your family members are dying.
Jesus fucking Christ.
It's rough, but you know what will help that? Get a new pillow.
We can all rest easy, knowing that they're in heaven, resting on a My Pillow.
Jesus
MyPillow.com. Promo code Hannity for $10 off 2 pillows.
If only you would have done it like that. He does have a promo code. I think.
Quick break. We'll continue.
Yeah. All right. He doesn't say the promo code thing. Maybe he doesn't have a promo
Jesus.
code.
I don't even think MyPillow can do it.
Yeah. Let's
oh my! It's so fucking. He hammed that up. Jesus Christ. No subtlety whatsoever. I mean, it is subtlety, but like.
He's got. It's just you know what it is for Sean Hannity. It's literally just a job for him.
I don't know. That's ridiculous.
You know, every person that knows Sean Hannity. So I don't know if this is a surprise to you or not, but every like liberal or left individual that's met Sean Hannity and like worked with him, they all say that Sean Hannity is like the nicest out of the Fox News crew, and they're like, he doesn't talk about politics or anything like outside of his job. He's like,
right.
Like you talk to him about politics, and he's like, "Come on, what are we? We're working right now? No.
I wouldn't be surprised. You know,
that's what he is. Like that's every story, and he is like he's not even ashamed by it. He doesn't even care. It's literally just a job to him. But apparently, he's super nice. He doesn't make up for this, you know. But
no, I mean that's
he covers some atrocious. He covers some stuff in atrocious ways. He's definitely one of the worst on the Fox News crew. I mean, you can kind of tell it's just a job to him. You can tell that he's like the biggest grifter because of how hard he simps for Donald Trump.
Well, that and Tucker Carlson's a pretty big grifter also because he has money and yet he chooses to do this anyway.
Well, of course. You know, the funny thing about Tucker Carlson is like he is, he's like a rebel in his family. Like he's like, no, I want to do my own thing. You know, I hate my parents. My parents suck. Kind of guy. It's really weird, and so he wanted to create like his own like empire and create his own wealth, although it doesn't count because he's already rich as fuck. So
yeah,
but yeah, I want to listen.
I mean, I get that sentiment, but like, why this?
Yeah, but he's doing it in the wrong way. Like, do it in a philanthropic manner, dude. Do it in a nice way. Like, do it in a humanitarian way. Let's all right, I want to listen to this one more time. I fucking love this.
You're one of those family members. I bet you're not sleeping. I don't even think MyPillow can do it. MyPillow.com. That's where I go. I fall asleep faster. I stay asleep longer. These are going to be a lot of sleepless nights for so many of our fellow Americans. We got to get them home. Quick break. We'll continue.
Oh my God, dude! It's not even better the second time. What the fuck?
I love it. I love that he's like, you know, I don't even think MyPillow can do it. MyPillow.com. That's like my favorite. I gotta listen to this one more time. It's so good. 2:49 is the timestamp. 2 minutes 49 seconds.
Okay.
You're one of those family members. I bet you're not sleeping. I don't even think MyPillow can do it.
MyPillow.com.
MyPillow.com. That's where I go. I fall asleep faster. I stay asleep longer. These are going to be a lot of sleepless nights for so many of our fellow Americans. We got to get them home. Quick break. We'll continue.
Like how he does, like, he's like, I don't even think MyPillow can do it. MyPillow.com. And then he tries to go back into, like, the sympathetic thing. We got to get him home. All right, we're going to take a break. It's insane. That was a month ago when he did that, right? But I saw the Mike Lindell thing. I saw that Mike Lindell is having trouble getting back in Fox News ad space. And I had to talk about the Sean Hannity thing. I had to play that because I'm like, it reminded me of it. It's so great. It's so funny. Okay, let's go into this next thing. We have been waiting on what is going to happen with the reconciliation bill and the bipartisan bill, of course, the $1 trillion bipartisan bill for physical infrastructure, and the $3.5 trillion bill for the human infrastructure. Right? I don't know why I'm putting these in air quotes. Mm-hmm. I'm like, mm-hmm. When I'm saying these, I'm like I'm thinking about it in my head, like with quotations around it. You know, it's like human.
Yeah.
Anywho,
you're probably literally thinking in headlines.
I'm literally thinking in headlines. Yeah. But we have right now surprisingly the House Dems with the House Progressives leading this charge are not budging. They are saying that we refuse. Finally, right? At least they're doing something now.
I can change my Twitter name.
Yeah. What is your Twitter name again? I forgot. I remember it being something.
Justice Democrats have failed their mission.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah, that's what it is.
Now it's going to be something like Justice Democrats are finally doing what we want, but they're on notice.
Justice Democrats might succeed in one mission.
I know they might actually succeed, but they're still on fucking notice.
Yeah, they are not budging on this. They're saying that the U.S. or the House Progressives are saying we will not vote for the bipartisan bill, which this is an election year. We're coming up to an election year. This will shoot Republicans in the feet, or rather, it'll be themselves shooting themselves in the feet, I guess. It'll hurt Republicans, okay? It'll also potentially hurt Joe Manchin. And they want this bipartisan bill to get passed. This $1 trillion bill. The first... wow, my nose is itching so bad. The first issue that Congress is facing is they need to increase the budget ceiling. So if you guys might be aware that Congress sets a debt limit every so often, every year really. They set they have a budget proposal, they set a debt limit, and so forth. And this debt limit can be suspended. So just recently, the U.S. House met and voted, actually yesterday, U.S. House met and voted on whether or not they will suspend this debt limit to then be able to pass these two bills, which will be finished, Nancy Pelosi says, on Monday. Here we have the results from last night's vote. U.S. House approves bill to suspend debt limit and fund government by Reuters. And here we have Washington, September 21st. Democrats in the House of Representatives passed a bill on Tuesday to fund the U.S. government through December 3rd and suspend the nation's borrowing limit until the end of 2022, sending it to the Senate, where the Republicans have vowed to block it. The House vote was 220 to 211 along party lines. It was unclear how soon the Senate would act. If Republicans stick by their refusal to support the measure in the Senate, Democrats will have to come up with a new strategy to quickly face the twin problems: the government and partial shutdown, because the government will shut down in response to this. And that always happens, by the way. When we have budget disputes like this, we can't decide on what to do with the debt limit and what to do with the budget. We shut down the government until we can decide what to do with it. This happens all the time. So, I mean, Ted Cruz led the shutdown during the Obama administration. I mean, the same thing happened with the Trump administration twice, I believe. And so this is actually a really good sign that the House Dems have passed this debt limit suspension. Now, the Republicans can say that they can block it, right? But the thing is, it is strictly a budget concern. The Democrats, through reconciliation, only need a simple majority, which means in their 50-50 split, if they vote purely on party lines, if Sinema and Manchin vote alongside of the Democrats, Kamala Harris will be able to break the tie and suspend the debt limit. However, That probably will not happen. Here is Joe Manchin talking about the $3.5 trillion reconciliation human infrastructure bill, and his fear of he talks about his fear of inflation, but he says that he wants to wait and like rethink the package and whatever.
And if there's not enough clarity, then you need to get clarity, and people need to know what tax reforms and where we stand nationwide and where the inflation is, all the things I've talked about.
You want it to wait till next year, right?
No, I didn't. You know what I said? I said, let's wait and see whatever we need. We'll have a good idea. The main thing with inflation, if it's transitory or not, we have a better idea as, once we get into it a little bit longer. But right now,
yeah, and inflation's still high. Gas prices are high.
In West Virginia too, and the people that end up paying the highest is the ones that can't afford it.
Right? Yeah. Whatever. Joe Manchin. This wouldn't cause inflation, and he knows that. He wants to delay this bill, by the way, because he knows that if he does not get the bipartisan bill passed, it'll hurt him. But he thinks that if he passes this reconciliation bill, it'll also hurt them. He wants his fucking cake and eat it too. But the thing is he is not going to get, hopefully, but it's looking good, he will not get this bipartisan bill without the reconciliation package. And this is, the Dems are doing the right thing right now. They need to be playing hardball, especially with Joe Manchin and Sinema. Manchin is especially aligning himself and has aligned himself for the last year as what his title is, the Kingmaker, right? It's not the president that decides. It's not the majority leader that decides. It's not the speaker that decides. It's Joe Manchin that decides. He is the monarch. That's how he wants to align himself in U.S. politics. And so he's trying so fucking hard. Oh shit, I just played the video. He's trying so fucking hard to kind of he's trying so hard to align himself in this position where once again he can have his cake and eat it too, He thinks that he can, if he plays his cards right, he can get this bipartisan bill passed and still block the reconciliation package, or at least reduce the funding on it. And this is actually really crazy. I'm really surprised that the Democrats haven't budged in the negotiations to reduce the amount of spending in the reconciliation package. I am so surprised I have not seen a headline yet or an article come out that says $3.5 trillion reconciliation package, now $2.9 trillion. Or now $2.4 trillion. It's so kudos to them. The Democrats are finally doing something right? Not all of them. Fuck Joe Manchin, right? But especially
he just shoots his problems away.
Yeah, he just shoots his problems away, right? Like he's sponsored by the NRA. Yeah. Here is MSNBC, by the way, with some surprisingly good reporting. Like you gotta see this. It's good.
The threat of a simultaneous government shutdown and debt default looms as Senate Republicans made it clear today that they will not vote to raise the debt ceiling, which the House is voting on tonight. It's an obviously hypocritical move. Republicans were totally fine with the debt rising almost $7.8 trillion during Orange Julius Caesar's reign. Mitch McConnell even said in 2019 that America defaulting on its loans would be a disaster. He said today the Democrats will have to raise it on their own. Meanwhile, President Biden's agenda is under threat as Democrats continue to grapple with internal divisions. Speaker Pelosi promised moderates that the House will vote on the bipartisan infrastructure bill by September 27th. That would be next Monday. But she also promised progressives that the vote would take place side by side with their $3.5 trillion human infrastructure bill. But some moderates, Joe Manchin, are not on board.
I love that, dude. Well, first, I love the fact that she's like, well, they were okay with increasing the debt when Trump was president, but now they're not. All right, that's good and all. It's a pretty low-hanging fruit, right? That's awesome. But I love that MSNBC in the readout is going out and saying the moderates, Joe Manchin, that's fucking awesome. Obviously implying that they're right-wingers because they are. But anywho, let's go back to this.
Infrastructure bill. But some moderates, Joe Manchin, are not on board with the price tag of some of the provisions in the bill. With Axios reporting that he's privately saying Congress should, quote, take a, quote, strategic pause on the bill until 2022. Now, publicly, Manchin says they're still working on it. But after meeting with Speaker Pelosi for 90 minutes today, Progressive Caucus Chair Pramila Jayapal said in no uncertain terms that progressives will not vote for the infrastructure bill until reconciliation passes. She said she thinks Pelosi will likely delay the infrastructure vote. Meanwhile, Speaker Pelosi is claiming that the reconciliation bill is on schedule and will be ready on Monday. Now, on top of all of this, millions of people are now facing eviction after the Supreme Court overturned Biden's eviction moratorium. So today, progressives introduced their own eviction bill. I'm joined now by Missouri Democratic Congresswoman Cori Bush, one of the lawmakers who introduced that eviction bill. She's also a member of the House Judiciary and Oversight Committees. I'm going to jump around just a little bit, Representative Bush, because
I'll stop it there. But yeah, I mean, pretty solid for Reed on MSNBC to throw some fucking fat shade at Joe Manchin, and also seemingly to really enthusiastically support the progressives in passing the reconciliation package. I mean, what,
I know it's insane because, like, remember during Bernie's campaign, the sigh that was heard across the world.
Wait, which one is that? I don't remember that.
It's where they were reporting on, like, and this blonde chick was like pretty much like. She sighed at the fact that Bernie was like trending ahead.
Oh,
it was hilarious.
It was
MSNBC. So
Yep. Yeah, I mean
and that was like really obvious too. It was like she really hammed it up there. She was like,
yeah, I know, it's ridiculous. They are extremely at best they're extremely mild. So. However,
yeah, just to side on the side of any progressive is like laughable.
Yeah, I agree. It is honestly fantastic though. That
it's good.
That video, I like it. I like it. All right, let us go to one really quick thing before we go to the last video. All right, this is everyone's talking about it, so I have to talk about it. Okay, it is Bill Gates once again having to face the monster that he created, his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. And keep in mind, Bill Gates, when he's saying this shit, he knew the entire time that Bill Gates was a piece of shit. His wife was like, before she divorced him. Yeah, wait, Bill Gates' wife divorced him, right? Melina Gates, is that her name?
Yeah, that or like proceedings went forward. I don't know.
I don't really
care.
The point is, before that whole thing, she says to Bill Gates, like, why are you meeting with Jeffrey Epstein? He's a monster, and you know he's a monster.
Yeah.
And
that's right. No, they were in the divorce case. She was using that as like
that's what it
reason
was
to get more money.
Yeah, and this is completely off of my this is like off the top of my brain right now. I don't remember I did not remember the context of it. I just remember she was saying something along those lines. Like they knew that it was bad that they're meeting Jeffrey Epstein, and here is Bill Gates in an interview with PBS talking about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Once again, really quick also, by the way, I don't know why he keeps doing these fucking media tours and accepting questions about Jeffrey Epstein.
I know, no kidding.
He's dog. Just step out of the limelight.
Unless they just ambush him with those questions, because
they 100%.
I'm pretty sure like he won't agree to any interviews. They
100% do, but the fact that he would think that
that they're not gonna
do that is so stupid. And what does he do? Like, if he's in this interview, they have the full rights and reign to post this on wherever, right? Or if it's live, you know. But this is PBS NewsHour. It's not. PBS NewsHour is not live. I don't think it's. They don't do these interviews live. Yeah, they pre-record everything, but they can still post it, you know. And they can still publish it. And what does he do in this response? Does he go like, they're like, oh, you know, how's your relationship with, you know, relationship with Jeffrey Epstein? Question. Insert that here, right? And he goes, he has two options. Either he can try to answer it the best of his ability, or go, you know what, I'm done with this interview. Which one looks better? They both look terrible. He can either he can either just refuse it, or he can answer the question.
Hey guys, if you run this, then you're barred from Office 365 for life. What's the worst that he could do?
Yeah. Here is so here's PBS talking to Jeffrey Epstein, or not Jeffrey Epstein, Bill Gates, about Jeffrey Epstein.
It was reported at that time that you...
one more thing. PBS is always so quiet. Please, PBS, fix your fucking volume issues.
I know. It's not that hard. Like, every single one of the voice clips that I do, like, I always mix to the same decibel.
Yeah, I feel like they're, like, do it on purpose to be, like, docile and, like, and I don't know. Maybe not. Who knows? All right, here it is.
Had a number of meetings with Jeffrey Epstein, who, when you met him 10 years ago, he was convicted of soliciting prostitution from minors. What did you know about him when you were meeting with him, as you've said yourself, in the hopes of raising money?
You know, I had dinners with him. I regret doing that. He had relationships with
look at his
people
fucking
he said,
body language.
You know, would
so
give to global health, which is a interest I have. You know, not nearly enough philanthropy goes in that direction. You know, those meetings were a mistake. They didn't result in what he purported, and I cut them off. You know, that goes back a long time ago now. So there's nothing new on that.
It was reported that you continue to meet with him over several years. And that, in other words, a number of meetings. What did you do when you found out about his background?
Well, you know, I've said I regretted having those dinners, and there's absolutely nothing new on that.
Is there a lesson for you, for anyone else looking at this?
Well, he's dead, so you know, in general, you always have to be careful. And I'm very proud of what we've done in philanthropy. Very proud of.
What a good answer, man. Well, is there a lesson to be learned from this? Well, he's dead, and well, you got to be careful. Oh, and also our philanthropy was good.
I know. Such a bad deflection.
Yeah, it is. What is he having to be dead have anything to do with it? Obviously, once again, like you said, it's just deflection. Why does he, out of all people, what used to be one of the richest men in the world, why does he have to meet with Jeffrey Epstein to get money? I mean, that's the big question, right? That's the elephant in the room. That's the one. If someone's not asking that question out loud, they're asking that question internally, right? Mm-hmm. Why? It's bad. I mean, if it quacks like a duck and it walks like a duck and it keeps going to meetings with Jeffrey Epstein, who's running a child sex slave empire, and he doesn't need the money, then he's probably a pedophile. But that's just an assumption. All right, I wanted to talk about that because everyone else is fucking talking about it. Everybody and their fucking mom is talking about it. So you gotta. But here is the last thing I want to talk about. It's another Tucker Carlson thing, dude. Tucker Carlson's he's infiltrating my mind today. This is Tucker Carlson talking to Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard being the president, the candidate of choice for Jimmy Dore, the Medicare for All supporter who will do nothing he will stop at nothing to get Medicare for All passed, except for maybe vote for Tulsi Gabbard, who doesn't support Medicare for All.
I know, that's interesting.
Yeah, he loves Tulsi Gabbard.
Well, I mean, she's all right. She's a big lib, but I'd like her anti-war stances. That's really about it.
You like her anti-war stance? You're gonna love this, son. Let's dive into this.
We thought it'd be interesting to see what Tulsi Gabbard thinks about this. She's a former member of Congress from Hawaii. She served in Iraq as a member of the Hawaii Army National Guard. She's still serving the country in the military. She joins us tonight. Congresswoman, thanks so much for coming on. So you get to lie. I mean, this will not shock you because you've seen it so much, but you get to lie about the loss of human life. You get caught and nothing happens to you? What kind of system is that?
I mean, this kind of accountability is critical. I want to point out first that anytime there are civilian casualties...
Context. Sorry, I keep doing this. Context. Joe Biden authorized a drone strike that killed a kid. Innocent civilians, including a kid.
It was many, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you're right.
I don't know the number, but it was a lot.
Yeah, they killed a lot of innocent civilians and apparently multiple children. I don't even know what the numbers are because the numbers are changing. It's insane. It was a revenge strike because ISIS suicide bombed a section of the airport, killing U.S. and Afghan personnel. So what do? We do what we do best. We kill innocents and children. And so this is what the context is. Obviously, Tucker Carlson's very concerned with this, by the way. He was very concerned with it when Trump was president. Oh, wait, no, he wasn't. He didn't give a fuck. But now he gives a fuck because Biden sucks, right? Am I right, boys?
Biden sucks big pee-pee.
And terrible. Yeah. War is a terrible thing, and I think it's important for the American people to understand that Islamist jihadists are continuing to wage war against us. And the Islamist ideology, not the same as the religion of Islam, but this Islamist ideology, which is a political ideology that inspired the terrorist attacks on our country on 9/11, is the greatest threat that we're facing right now in this country and the world. It is the foundation of governance of so-called Islamic countries like Turkey and Iran and Saudi Arabia and Pakistan. And it's what's behind the discriminatory policies that they have in these countries against Christians, Hindus, Buddhists, atheists, and others. So as long as these Islamist jihadists are waging war against us, we have to work to defeat them militarily and ideologically. And militarily, we have two choices in how we do that. Number one, we can continue to invade and occupy and nation-building countries around the world, just as we did in Afghanistan, at great cost. Number two, we can take a targeted approach using airstrikes, using our special forces to go in and go after these terrorist cells. The reality is that
So the killing of innocent civilians with drone strikes is bad.
Oh, man.
And the way to solve that is to keep doing it.
Hey, I'm gonna run on anti-war. Wars are bad. Why are we even over there? But also, now I've changed my mind. Let's bomb stuff.
Yeah, I don't even understand what is going through her head. So let's break it down a little bit. she talks about the Islamist ideology, which is different from the Islamist religion, right? That is playing to that's like trying to play like this kind of like liberal, like tote this line that like, oh well, I don't hate, I'm not Islamophobic, but there's this Islamic ideology that's really bad. Well, it's the same. What if I went around saying, well, the Christian ideology it's different than Christian people, right? But there's a Christian ideology in Uganda where they punish you if you're gay or something, right? You get like some serious capital punishment if you're gay or some shit, right? Like, okay, well that's just like, that's a Christian ideology, but it's different than Christianity, right? You conservatives would shit their fucking pants in response to that. They would be so triggered. Okay, if like there was a famous person like this going online or going on to like Fox News or whatever saying this shit. But so that's kind of the thing that she's trying to do, right? She's trying to like say like, oh well, I'm not Islamophobic, but Islamic people are bad. Muslim people are bad, right?
No, I'm not Islamophobic, but their entire ideology needs to be bombed.
Yeah, but not the ideology of the people in America, but the ideology of the people in Afghanistan. Now, here is the second thing. She says that Islamic Jihad is the biggest threat to America and the world. I mean, I guess that's a reasonable take from a person that literally doesn't care about American infrastructure in the slightest. Someone that defends the status quo. But now keep in mind, she made her entire career off of being anti-war. Okay? Yeah, like Otto said earlier. Yeah, he was okay with her because she's a lib, but at least she's anti-war, right? She's a status quo lib, but hey, she's an anti-war at least. Well, now she says, oh well, the way we solve this issue with Islamic jihadists is it's not to like, keep in mind the drone strikes before are bad. We killed innocent civilians, and this is the whole reason why we're having this meeting in the first place, right? Because we killed innocent civilians with the drone strike. But we can actually solve this Islamic jihad issue with more drone strikes. What a big brain take. I don't even understand how she can listen to herself talk and not stop and rethink what she's going to say, or I just don't get it. Like, so now she's anti-war, she's anti-boots on the ground, but she's like pro-war, but as long as like we're not nation building, is that what it is? I just don't even understand anymore. It's like okay, we'll build a base in Afghanistan so we can keep drone striking people, but we won't like try to change their culture or something by putting troops and creating puppet governments over there. I don't understand. There was a point in time where I actually defended Tulsi Gabbard. But now she sounds a lot like a fucking neocon.
No shit.
Let's listen to this one more time, by the way. Just a little bit of it. Just listen to how much like a neocon she sounds like.
Hindus, Buddhists, atheists, and others. So as long as these Islamist jihadists are waging war against us.
By the way, this is Tulsi Gabbard built her like name recognition off of, she was like, oh, I went to war because of 9/11. I was lied to. I feel terrible. And now I have to work to repent. I have to work to repent for the how devout I was to the cause of America and exceptionalism and the wars we perpetuated in the Middle East. And keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. And also keep in mind the rhetoric of the mainstream media and, I don't know, every hearing that we had in relation internationally and in America in relation to 9/11 and the war in Iraq when she's saying this shit.
Tulsi.
And others. So as long as these Islamist jihadists are waging war against us, we have to work to defeat them militarily and ideologically. And militarily, we have two choices in how we do that. Number one, we can continue to invade and occupy and nation-building countries around the world.
Let me go back a little bit further. Sorry, let's go back to here.
The greatest threat that we're facing right now in this country,
right here,
ideology, which is a political ideology that inspired the terrorist attacks on our country on 9/11, is the greatest threat that we're facing right now in this country and the world. It is the foundation of governance of so-called Islamic countries like Turkey and Iran and Saudi Arabia and Pakistan.
Used to get us into Iraq. This is the excuse that Donald Rumsfeld is smiling in his grave right now. He is burning in hell right now and finding a little piece of solace and harmony in the fact that he just gained another fucking disciple. It is, I don't know, man. Once again, there was a point in time where I defended Tulsi Gabbard, and now I just feel like a fucking idiot. Because I remember a very specific conversation I had with my girlfriend's mom. My girlfriend's mom is like really into she pretends to be really into politics. She's like listen, she might actually hear this, and if you hear it, I'm sorry. But, well, also not sorry because I probably said it to her face a couple times. She's a Clinton-esque neo-lib.
Okay.
And I had this conversation with my girlfriend's mom, and she goes, well, isn't Tulsi Gabbard kind of like a conservative? And I was really surprised by that statement, because I was like, damn, wouldn't she like Tulsi Gabbard? Like, she's like super status quo, super neo-lib, and anti-war. Like, this is like perfect for you, right? And I was like, no, she's not a conservative. She's just a liberal, right? And well, I don't know. And also, I've had like arguments with people, not on Twitter, but like people that have like made posts on Twitter about like how conservative she is and shit. I've defended Tulsi Gabbard. I've been like, listen, yeah, she's a liberal, dude. She's a lib. She's like a Nancy Pelosi kind of character, but at least she's anti-war.
At least she's anti-war. And
yeah.
Now look at her.
Now I feel like a fucking moron. Yeah. Fuck you, Tulsi Gabbard, for hurting my ego. But I'm kind of curious to see how Jimmy Dore reacts to this too.
Oh, did he?
No, I don't know if he did or not. I'll look into it after we're done. But
wait, what? The 21st? Oh, okay. I see. Really recent.
This happened yesterday.
Okay.
So
I look forward to seeing like a Kalinske clip on it or something.
Oh yeah, true. I don't think that Jimmy
because
Dore...
he used to defend Tulsi Gabbard a bit too.
Oh right, I think he probably said the same shit I said, right? Because he probably said the same shit. Like, he probably just said, "Well, you know, she's a liberal, but she's anti-war."
Yep. Yeah. And he probably defended her by saying like, if you're gonna vote for her just because you're anti-war, I understand, like that type of
right.
shit. You know?
Same. That's what I used to say too. Like, if that's the only thing you care about, well, she's probably more devout to that concept than any other candidate is. I would say that she seemed to be more. It seemed like she was more devout to that idea than even Bernie Sanders was. Because, listen, Bernie Sanders is fine and all, but he is not the best on foreign policy.
Well, all he cared about was sock dem shit and not necessarily, the wars.
Which is fine.
Well, it's just like, we said Tulsi Gabbard was fine because she's running on one issue, and that's fine.
Yeah, it's the exact opposite. She doesn't care about the issues here, but she cares about ending wars. Right?
Yeah.
So this is...
which is a roundabout way of caring about issues here, like especially regarding, how much money we're spending over there.
Oh,
so,
yeah,
anyways.
of course. I mean, it's not like she'd spend that money on anything else. She's she doesn't support fucking Medicare for all. What's she... Like, okay, instead of spending $2 trillion on the war in Afghanistan, what the fuck else is she going to spend the money on? I don't know. But that being said, that is the last thing I wanted to talk about. I appreciate people coming in. You know what? I just realized that person I just realized the person that just called us stupid said you two are really stupid. The inserts from the manufacturers listed. I think maybe she was calling us stupid because the title of the stream is "Vaccines Have Killed Thousands."
Oh, were they defending vaccines?
I don't know because they didn't type in a coherent manner.
Right.
But,
you should copy and paste that to me. I'll decipher it.
Yeah, you decipher it. Okay. Anywho, thank you, guys, for watching. I appreciate
Thanks, Alex. Thanks, Lou. And thanks for Gloria for popping in for just a second to say some weird John Lennon quote.
True.
Thanks, Jay on Facebook. I'm sure he's not here, but thanks anyways.
Thank you guys for tuning in. And until Friday, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye. Thank you. Thanks for that face. All right, goodbye.